You've entered the story they tried to bury. What you hear next was never meant to be found. This is Grim Whisper Studios. My name is Noah. I'm from Arizona. This happened in the summer of 2018. It was 104 degrees that day, not even a breeze, and my aunt had gone out of town for the weekend. So me and my two cousins, Owen and Tyler, stayed at her house. Just three bored teenagers in a quiet suburb with access to a private pool. We thought it was the perfect setup. Music, snacks, no adults. We swam all afternoon till the sun started dropping behind the houses. Around 8:30 p.m., we were sitting at the pool's edge. No lights on, just moonlight and the water. That's when we heard it, a splash, but we were all out of the water. No wind, no bugs, just a splash. We froze. Owen said, "Probably a frog," but we never saw one. Then Tyler leaned over and whispered, "Why are there bubbles coming up?" We looked down, and sure enough, a few bubbles, right in the middle of the pool, like something had just gone under. No movement, no leaves, just silence. Then another bubble, and then a shadow, not big, not sharp, just something shifting beneath the surface. We grabbed the pool skimmer, poked the water. Nothing came up, but the water suddenly felt colder. That night, we all slept inside. Curtains closed, lights off. Around 2 a.m., I woke up, heard something outside, near the pool. I looked through the blinds, and for just a second, I saw a figure, kneeling at the pool's edge, head tilted, staring into the water. Then, it slipped in, without a sound. Next morning, I didn't say anything. Not about what I saw, not about the figure, not even the way it slid into the water, without ripples. Owen was making toast. Tyler was still half asleep. Everything felt normal, too normal, until I stepped out back to check the pool. The surface was perfectly still, clear, no debris, but near the center, there was something small, floating just under the water. I leaned closer. It was a coin, shiny, old, definitely not ours. I dipped my hand in to grab it, and the water suddenly pulled down, just a small tug, like something tried to grab me. I jumped back, didn't tell the others. Later that afternoon, we swam again, mostly to distract ourselves, to cool off, to prove there was nothing wrong, but the deep end felt off, too cold, too quiet. Tyler stayed near the steps. Owen dove a few times, and then he came up gasping, eyes wide, face pale. I swam over, asked what happened. He didn't answer, just climbed out of the pool, sat on the concrete, and stared. After a minute, he finally whispered, "I felt a hand. It grabbed my ankle." We laughed it off, tried to, called it a cramp, a trick of pressure. But that night, the hallway light turned off, on its own. The pool light flickered. We didn't even know the switch was on. And sometime around 3 a.m., we heard it, a voice, low, wet. It said, "Come back in." We didn't swim the next day, didn't even open the back door. Something had changed. The air in the house felt heavy, like the heat wasn't from outside anymore, like it was coming from the pool. Owen barely talked. Tyler stayed on his phone. I kept checking the back window, and every time, I felt like something was watching from under the water. Around noon, Tyler said he was done. He started packing, said he'd rather go stay at his friend's place. Owen didn't argue, but right before Tyler left, he went outside to grab his charger from the patio. Not even 2 minutes. Then he came running back in, sweating, shaking. He said, "There's someone in the pool." We rushed out. The water was still, empty, no ripples, no movement. But then, we saw it. At the bottom of the deep end, pressed flat against the floor tiles, was a face. White, distorted, eyes wide open, mouth stretched too far. like it was screaming, but no bubbles, no motion, just watching us. Tyler dropped his bag. Owen froze. I couldn't even breathe. Then it blinked and vanished into the dark. That night, we didn't sleep. Lights on, curtains shut, TV running all night. Every so often, we heard the patio door creak, even though it was locked. And at 3:11 a.m., we all heard it again, a splash. But this time, it wasn't outside. It came from the hallway, like something wet had stepped into the house. After that night, we stayed in one room, door locked, lights on. Even Tyler came back in, said he didn't want to be alone. No one spoke, no jokes, no phones, just silence and the sound of water somewhere in the walls. Around 4:17 a.m., the hallway light flickered. We didn't move. We didn't even blink. Then we heard a soft sound, not footsteps, not knocking, just dripping right outside the bedroom door. Owen whispered, "Do you hear that?" Tyler nodded. No one got up. We waited. And then we saw the shadow from the gap under the door. A shape, not feet, not shoes, just dripping and standing. No knock, no voice. It just waited. After nearly 10 minutes, the shadow moved away. We waited another hour before opening the door. Nothing, no water, no footprints. But the pool light outside, still flickering. We left the house that morning, didn't even close the door. Tyler moved to California. Owen never returned my texts. And me, I went back once, a year later, out of guilt or curiosity. I stood at the back gate, looked at the pool. The water was clear, still, and in the deep end, I saw it again. That same face, mouth open, eyes empty, waiting. I turned, started to leave, but just before I walked away, I heard it. One last time, from the water, from inside my own head. You were here first. Come back in. Story 2. My name is Mason. I live just outside Chicago. This happened in the fall of 2021. I just moved into a small apartment complex. Second floor, 2-bedroom. Quiet building, mostly older tenants. Exactly what I wanted. The unit directly above me had been empty for months. According to the landlord, it was being held for a long-term lease. But 2 weeks after I moved in, I started hearing noises from upstairs. Not banging, not footsteps, just dragging, like something heavy being pulled across the floor. Always late at night, always slow. I assumed it was the maintenance guy until I asked him. He looked confused and said, "That unit's still locked up. No one's moved in yet." I didn't believe him at first, thought maybe he was covering for someone. So that night, I stayed up, 1:27 a.m., right on cue. That sound, drag, pause, drag. It went on for almost 15 minutes, then stopped. I waited another hour, then went to bed. Next morning, there were scratches on my ceiling, right above where my bed was, like someone had scraped something sharp. From one end of the room to the other, the next few nights, the dragging sound returned. Same time, same rhythm. But now, it was followed by something else. Thuds, light, like someone was pacing, but only in one spot, over and over again, like they couldn't leave that part of the floor. I went up once, stood outside the door to apartment 3B. It was dead quiet. No light from the peephole, no sounds, no signs of life. I knocked once, nothing. But as I turned to leave, I heard a sound from behind the door. Software, breathy, like someone was standing just inches away whispering. I left fast. Didn't sleep that night. Next morning, I asked the neighbor across the hall if she knew who lived in 3B. She hesitated, then said, "No one's lived there in over a year." I asked if she'd ever heard anything. She didn't respond, just went inside, closed her door, hard. That evening, I sat in my room, lights off, waited. 1 a.m., silence. 1:10 a.m., a faint creak. Then 1:17 a.m., dragging. But this time, it was right above me. Not the ceiling, the vents, like someone was crawling in them. I stood up, moved toward the hallway. That's when I saw it, a shadow, moving across the floor. Not mine, not cast by anything, just sliding slowly toward my bedroom. I didn't move, didn't breathe. Then, it vanished under the door. I turned on every light, slept with a kitchen knife, and around 3 a.m., I swear I heard breathing from inside my closet. I couldn't ignore it anymore. Something was happening in that apartment, and no one wanted to talk about it. That morning, I went to the leasing office, asked them directly, "Who lives in 3B?" The woman at the desk just stared for a second, then said, "3B is sealed. No one's allowed in." I asked why. She didn't answer, just handed me a maintenance request form. That night, I didn't wait for 1:17. I stayed up with my phone camera open, pointed toward the ceiling, recording, and at 1:19, it started. The dragging, the pacing, the soft knocking. But this time it was closer. I muted the video. That's when I noticed. Even with the sound off, I could still hear her. Not in the room, in my head. A voice, software, like a breath between thoughts. It said, "Don't look up." Next day, I did something I shouldn't have. I found the maintenance key box and took the one for 3B. I went up around noon, middle of the day, sun shining, felt safer. I stood outside the door, waited, nothing. Then I turned the key. It opened, no alarm, no lock, just air, still and cold. The place was empty, dusty floors, no furniture, no curtains, no lights. But on the far wall, there were scratch marks, dozens of them, long, vertical, deep, and right in the center of the room, a single chair, old, wooden, facing the wall. I walked toward it slowly, and that's when I noticed. The ceiling, it wasn't flat. There were prints, handprints, like someone had been walking on the ceiling. From corner to corner, I turned to leave, but the door was closed, and from behind me, I heard breathing, not loud, not fast, just close. I turned toward the door. It was still shut, no wind, no sound. But the breathing, it wasn't stopping. I backed away, slowly, didn't speak, didn't run, just listened to whatever was behind me. Then I heard something new, tapping, faint, from the wall, like fingers or nails, light but impatient. I opened the door, didn't look back, locked it behind me, returned the key, didn't say a word to anyone. That night, there were no dragging sounds, no pacing, no ceiling knocks, just scratching from inside my bedroom wall. I moved out the next morning, packed everything, left furniture behind, didn't even wait for my deposit. A few months later, I looked up the building, just curiosity. It was listed as under renovation, no tenants allowed. But in one of the photos, there was a shot of my old ceiling, zoomed in, and right where my bed used to be, there was a patch painted over, like something had clawed through from the other side. I still hear her sometimes, not from above, not from the vents, from mirrors, from door frames, from behind things that don't move anymore. Once, in a hotel bathroom, I saw steam letters on the glass. They spelled, "Downstairs now." I was on the ground floor, so if you live in an apartment and the unit above you is supposed to be empty, but you hear something anyway, don't go up, because sometimes they don't live there anymore. They live in you. This was Mason. If you hear breathing and no one's around, you're not alone. Story 3. My name is Riley. This happened in the summer of 2017. I was 20. Me, my girlfriend Chloe, and 2 friends, Josh and Maddie, were driving back from a music festival in Colorado. The interstate was jammed. Google Maps suggested a shortcut through a rural county road, Red Hollow Road. None of us had ever heard of it, but it was summer, still bright outside. We thought, why not? The road started out normal. 2 lanes, pine trees, clear sky. But after a few miles, the pavement turned to gravel, then dirt, then nothing. No signal, no signs, just woods. But then, we saw it. A house. Old. White paint peeling. Mailbox bent sideways. One of those properties that looked like it shouldn't still be standing. Chloe said, let's turn around. But Josh, who was driving yours, said, it's just a house. We drove past it slowly. Windows closed. Music off. As we passed, I swear I saw someone in the upstairs window. Not a face. Just a hand on the glass. Thin. Pale. Still. We kept going. Road got bumpier. GPS froze. Then, the car stalled. Dead. Middle of nowhere. No reception. Sun going down. Josh got out to check the engine. Me and Chloe stayed inside. Maddie looked behind us, then whispered, there's someone standing in front of the house. We all turned, and she was right. Far back in the trees, a tall figure, just standing, not walking, not moving, just watching. Then the car started again, without warning. No one touched anything. We drove, fast. But for the rest of that road, we didn't see another house, or a person, or an animal. Just endless woods, and that feeling that we were still being watched. We didn't talk much the rest of the drive. No music, no jokes. No one even looked at their phones. We dropped everyone off. No one said bye, just silence. That night I tried to sleep, but the air in my room felt heavier, like it wasn't just heat, like the summer night wasn't alone. At 3:14 a.m., I heard something, not outside, inside the house. A creak, slow, from the hallway, then another, closer. I called out, Dad? No answer. Then again, Chloe? But I was home alone. I got up, opened the door, nothing there. But on the floor, a footprint, wet, longer than mine, pointed straight toward my bedroom. Next morning I called Chloe. Before I could even say anything, she whispered, did you hear it too? I froze. She told me she'd heard knocking on her second floor window, then tapping on her mirror in the dark. She said, I think it's still with us. We decided to meet at Josh's place, but when we got there, he wasn't answering the door or his phone. We peeked through the side window. His living room was trashed, curtains ripped, TV face down, clock shattered on the floor. Then we saw him, Josh, sitting on the floor in the hallway, facing the wall, hands over his ears, muttering something again and again. Chloe called out. He didn't turn, didn't move, but we heard what he was whispering, over and over. I saw her hand. I saw her hand. I saw her hand. We got Josh to answer the door. Barely. He looked empty, pale, sweating, eyes hollow like he hadn't slept in days. We asked what happened. He said, she was in the mirror. I asked, who? He shook his head, then walked back to his room and shut the door. We didn't follow. That night, Chloe stayed over. Neither of us wanted to be alone. We tried to stay awake, but somewhere past 2 a.m., I dozed off. I woke up to whispering. Right next to the bed. It wasn't Chloe. She was still asleep. I couldn't make out the words, but they were fast, wet, like someone mumbling underwater. I turned on the lamp. Nothing. But the closet door was open, only a crack. I know I had closed it. I stared at it for maybe 10 minutes, then got up slowly and shut it. Didn't even breathe while doing it. Next day, Maddie called. She hadn't spoken to anyone since that drive. Her voice was shaking. She said, guys, I think she's in my house. She said her bedroom door opened on its own, twice. Said her dog wouldn't go near the bathroom, and she kept hearing someone breathing in her attic. We went over that evening. Everything looked normal, clean, bright. But when I walked down the hallway, I saw something, just a glimpse. In the hallway mirror, a woman standing behind me, Hair soaked, face pale, eyes too wide. No reflection of me, just her. I turned around, no one. Turned back. Mirror? Blank. We told Maddie to pack a bag, come stay with us. She grabbed her phone, went upstairs to get clothes. We waited. 1 minute, then 2, then 5. I called out, Maddie? No answer. Then we heard her scream. We ran upstairs. Maddie was in the corner of her room, crying, hands over her ears, eyes wide, just like Josh. We held her, tried to calm her down. She kept saying the same thing. She's still on the road. She's still watching us drive away. We packed her bag, left her house that night. She didn't argue. Back at my place, the three of us barely spoke. Chloe didn't sleep. Maddie wouldn't turn her back to the door. And me? I kept checking the window. At 2:47 a.m., I saw headlights, a car, parked across the street. No one got out, no engine sound, just lights, staring at our house, then they turned off. I didn't see it drive away, didn't hear anything. It was just gone. We tried to move on, tried to act normal, but the week after that, Josh disappeared. His mom said he never came home after work. Phone off. No note, nothing. They found his car, abandoned off a side road. The road's name? Red Hollow. After that, Chloe stopped talking to me, said the dreams were getting worse, that the woman is closer now. Maddie moved out of state, blocked us all. And me? I still live here, still sleep with the lights on, still avoid mirrors after midnight, still check the closet door 3 times before bed. Because last week, I found something at my front door, a single footprint, bare, wet, facing inward, and in the fog on my bedroom window, just 5 letters, written from the inside. Drive. So if you're ever on a summer road trip and your GPS tells you to take a shortcut, don't. If you see an old white house with peeling paint and no one around, don't look up at the window because she's still there. And if you see her, she'll see you. And once she sees you, you'll never really leave Red Hollow. This was Riley, and if you're reading this, it might already be too late. If you made it this far, you heard what they wanted buried. Subscribe before it finds you next.